Good day and welcome to the Sport Rep Show. I am your host, Jesse Jackson Kauraitha, taking you through proceedings today. And now for your latest on the hit list. The highly anticipated clash between Cameroon and Burundi tonight in Garoua, the capital of the north of Cameroonian capital, will determine whether the brave warriors of Namibia will advance to next year's Africa Cup of Nations. The Warriors, who have only managed to qualify for major tournaments twice in the 21st century, find themselves on the brink of a potential AFCON qualification. But this can only happen if there is a clear winner between Cameroon and Burundi. If the match ends in 0-0 or a 1-1 draw, Cameroon will edge out Burundi based on a better head-to-head record. If it's a draw that involves more goals, for example 4-4, then Namibia could end up dropping out of the qualification spots. Whoever wins in the clash will join Namibia in the group for the qualifiers. If the Indomitable Lions win, they will secure their 20th AFCON appearance. If Burundi wins, they will then secure a second appearance at the tournament. The Warriors are currently leading the group with 5 points. Both Cameroon and Burundi are on 4 points each respectively. The 2023-24 Debmarine Premier League was launched yesterday morning at the Namibia Football Association Soccer House in Windhoek. The league has been sponsored to the tune of 18 million by Debmarine Namibia. 16 clubs will compete for the coveted trophy starting this weekend. About 240 matches will be played all over the country, Namibia Premier League Director Mabos Fries announced. Fries, however, did not disclose how much money the clubs will receive, only saying that 14 million from the sponsorship money will include club grants as well as prize money. The league organizers will provide the exact day of the play of each match as well as the times during the coming week. The Richelieu Franchise T20 competition is back with 4 brand new teams vying for the top spot. The event will take place at United Sports Ground from 15 to 24 September. The teams competing for the number 1 spot are the Namib Desert Lions, Fish River Eagles, Windhoek Jets and Etosha Wildcats. The Richelieu Franchise is a tournament in which Cricket Namibia offers the world a glimpse of elite Namibian cricketers showcasing their on-field skills. The tournament serves as a stepping stone for club players to potentially secure a place in the prestigious Eagles elite squad under the watchful eye of the national men's head coach. The Namibia Franchise 2023 has an exciting addition to the competition with 5 Lahore Qalandar players and 2 players from the Jersey cricket team. We also have a word from, that is, the CEO of Cricket Namibia, Johan Müller. This is what he had to say.
Yeah, the Richelieu T20 competition is something that has been going on for a while. It's a competition that mainly focused on domestic cricket players, the best 4 teams, that mean your top 50 players in the country, to compete under different business owners who own various teams. This year we decided to change the model and to go into more of an international ownership. Unfortunately, that model didn't 100% materialize, and we're back to domestic tournament, but it's centrally owned now by Cricket Namibia, which means that we own all 4 of the teams in the franchise. We are fortunate to have some international players playing in. There's 4 players from South Africa, there's 6 players from Pakistan, and then also 2 players from Jersey that will be playing and adding to the quality on field of the tournament. And it's part of our pipeline process. It is the identification platform for our national coach to see the talent coming through at the highest level. So all our national players must play in the T20 franchise, which means that already 20 of the top players is actually nationally contracted players, which now allows the coach to see how your better club performer will compete against a national player. And it's a really good platform to just measure standards and quality and just see how they compare to one another on field. We've been hosting quite a lot in the last couple of years, so from a logistical perspective everything is in place. And maybe just a word to Richelieu, who's again the sponsor of this tournament and the partner of this wonderful event. They're also the partner of our national men's team, the Richelieu Eagles, and it's wonderful that they partner in this tournament as well. Yeah, so the players that we're bringing in we're not paying for them. They see it as an opportunity for them to grow also their cricket background. The 4 players from South Africa are all Namibian qualified players, so it's players that are eligible to play for Namibia. And it's an opportunity for us to see their standard and quality compared to what we've got currently in Namibia. So there's no payment to the players, but we do assist with accommodation and some local expenses. Yeah, it's important that we transfer the knowledge of the national players into our club system, but also into the under-19s. And I think that's what's unique about this tournament. We've got our top 8 or 9 under-19s playing in this event as well, which means that your under-17, under-19 player will now get exposure playing with the best of the national players. And that is exactly how skills get transferred, and that's how we develop youngsters quicker to be ready to play for the national team at a younger age. Yeah, our domestic school season started a week ago, so that's going quite well. A record number of teams that entered for that. Directly from a national perspective, after the franchise, we've got Zimbabwe arriving on the 22nd of October for 5-match series, T20Is. And then we're hosting the wonderful qualifier, the T20 qualifier, where we have to qualify as top 2 teams in the region, that means in Africa, to go through to the T20 World Cup in West Indies next year in June.
That was Cricket Namibia CEO Johan Muller, very excited about the new franchise. Well, it has been happening in Namibia for quite a number of times now that we are able to experience and watch this franchise top of the card crickets in preparation for bigger tournaments, especially for players that wants to come through the ranks. Up next is Golden Oldies, but first let us go and visit the marketplace. Welcome to your Golden Oldies section. This is where we showcase some of the past top players in all sport departments, players that have made a difference in the lives of sport and in the lives of many Namibians. Our Golden Oldies for this week is none other than Berlin Pancho Ogumep, who was born on 9 January 1974. He is a former national and international footballer, also formerly with Chiefs Santos of the Namibia Premier League. The player was also contracted to South African football giants Jomo Cosmos FC. The highlight of his career being the day he played in a friendly match alongside Jomo Cosmos boss Jomo Sono in Port Elizabeth in a friendly match against Orlando Pirates of South Africa in 2001. The day he matched shoulder to shoulder at a media tournament in Soweto, Johannesburg, November 28, 2000, against one of the legends of South Africa, could produce. Max Maponyane is one of his famous moments too. He competed for the Namibian national football team from 1998 to 2004 with 27 caps, including the 1998 Africa Cup of Nations. Many of you would remember that famous goal he scored against the Bafana, where the Bafana were leading Namibia, but Berlin Okumep and Bimbo Chihero scored some of the famous goals on that day, which concluded Namibia's 3-2 victory over the South Africans. It was a day that Berlin Okumep will never forget, because he told that time the Prime Minister and now the current head of state, President Hage Geingob, that he is going to score a goal, and he actually did. It's a memory that lives in his life and hopes to encourage many youngsters that are coming up to become one of the most disciplined players in football, especially the fact that sports pays. He believes that many of the young players that are growing through the ranks today have to show heart and courage and become top players and players that can actually produce quality results for the national team. Okumep hopes that the country will qualify today when Burundi meets Cameroon. Of course, it is an important fixture which he will be looking at and hoping that Namibia will be able to qualify without kicking a ball. Remember that that match between the Cameroonians and Burundi will only go in the favor of the two if it ends 4-4. But Berlin Okumep, who is a legend of the team, believes that is much impossible due to the fact that Namibia will probably be able to just go over this hurdle, because he believes the Cameroonians will come in today's match with all firing on all cylinders and hoping that they qualify themselves, even though a lot of people are still in doubt, feeling that there could be some match fixing and all that. But let us all stay glued to our screens today and see what the two teams will produce. Remember that a win for either of the two will see one qualifying, while a draw for one of the two will see that Burundi qualifying, and Cameroon would not love that. So Berlin, we hope that your wishes will come true today and we'll see Namibia at the next Africa Cup of Nations. We will visit the marketplace again before our international correspondent Ariel Hart takes us through the memories of France and the great atmosphere that the sport rep is experiencing in that country.
This month on DStv Premium, the English Premiership is in full swing. Catch all the footballing action.
He's done it again!
Damian Lewis and Guy Pearce star in A Spy Among Friends, a thrilling limited series about a double agent.
Espionage going to be intoxicating.
And relive the masterful comedy of Key and Peele with both season 1 and 2.
You're feeling it!
It's your moment to be entertained by staying connected to DStv Premium.
Now, speaking of creating memories and moments, Sport Rep is doing that for you. Our international correspondent Ariel Hart is on standby for the latest on Le Rugby Joel as he brings us coverage from the Rugby World Cup in France. Enjoy.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news and the Rugby World Cup sports news all the way here from Marseille. and it is week 2 of World Cup 2023. It's all systems go. It's a few days now that there's no games. It is the Namibian team that's still based in Lyon, and they will fly on Wednesday. They will fly to Toulouse, where they play on Friday against New Zealand. A tough game for Namibia coming up. First game, of course, they played against Italy, 52 points to 8. Italy winners in that game, and coach Alistair Coetzee quite confident that the team can improve for the game against New Zealand. Also, what's been happening or trending in the news is the referees, and it will always be. It's not a new thing. Referees been trending about for roughly 100 years in world rugby, so it's been trending all the time in schools rugby, in club rugby, and also in World Cup rugby. Referees are trending. So it was specifically the Wales-Fiji game that it was discussed quite a bit. It was Wales that got 17 penalties. It was Fiji just 9, but it was more the fact that Wales got consecutive penalties and not more than 1 yellow card. That was the issue. And also then in the South Africa-Scotland game, it was Jesse Creel that had also a head collision, or he made contact with a opposing player's head. That wasn't taken up for review. So that's all in the news. But let's hear from some of the fans, that the Scotland fans that's here in the house in Marseille. They're still here after the game against South Africa. So let's hear what they think. They've got some nice beer with them that's reflecting after the game, and what they think about the anthems, and also what they think about the referees.
The red card decision might have been possible in the 6th minute in the South African team, but consistency seems to be a bit of an issue with the refereeing in the game. But we'll see what happens moving forward. A bit hopeful about the Ireland game. We'll see what happens with that, but we're still hopeful. Yeah, we might qualify. Fingers crossed. Scottish fans, we'll see what happens. So that's it.
Also, there was in the media quite a bit about the anthems as well. You happy with the Scottish anthem? Or
yeah, different. I think the key was a wee bit out. We tried to sing the Scottish.
The key, it was a bit tricky. And they had the choirs, but no, so we tried our best. Yeah, we were
good
singing,
atmosphere with the Scottish fans.
Yeah, that was good.
We'll see what happens. So, fingers crossed. Go on, Scotland.
And you can't go wrong. You can maybe just show us what beer.
Guinness.
It's a Guinness.
Yeah.
First Guinness of the day. Yeah.
First Guinness of the day.
First Guinness. Yeah.
Luckily, we're recording this at 7 a.m, so it's not.
Well, okay, yeah. Maybe I'll 10 today, but we'll see what happens.
We can record it. Yeah. But enjoy the World Cup.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
That's the Scottish view, and they've got some Irish Guinness that they're drinking there, so it's a nice combination. Also, rugby news from World Cup 2023 at the moment is that Tom Curry, the flanker from England, is seeing a disciplinary panel in Paris. That's after receiving a yellow card in the 11th minute, and that is actually in the 3rd minute he received a yellow, and then it was upgraded to a red card. So he needs to see the disciplinary committee, see if there's further sanction against Tom Curry of England. England still did well. They won 27 points to 10. That was against Argentina, although they only played with 14 men. What's happening next? It's the first game coming up again on Thursday. It's Uruguay playing their first game, a tough one against France, the host. And then Namibian interest, of course, it's Friday, Namibia playing against New Zealand. That is in Toulouse. So that's rugby news, international rugby news from the World Cup 2023, all the way here from Toulouse. For Sportswrap, Arie Hougaard in Toulouse.
How do you find the perfect time? Is it in what we create? Or is perfection a form of art? Can we taste the perfect time? Move to it. Feel it. Or is it best enjoyed together? The perfect time is out there. Come with us to find it. Vintage Draft. Perfect time, perfect beer.
Well, a big shout out to Ariohat and the crew there for doing that amazing job experiencing the life in France. Unfortunately, Namibia didn't win their first World Cup match, but the nation still continues to wait. Speaking of international news, a judge at Spain's top criminal court opened an investigation into former Spanish Football Federation president Luis Rubiales on Monday, following a lawsuit filed over his forcible kiss on Jenny Hermoso's lips after the Women's World Cup final. Judge Francisco de Jorge of the National Court admitted the complaint filed by Spanish prosecutors last week regarding alleged crimes of sexual assault and coercion, the court said in a statement. The magistrate also asked media outlets to send him footage from different angles of Rubiales' kiss, as well as the Spain players' celebrations in the dressing room on the team bus after winning the World Cup on August 20 in Sydney. David Brooks scored his first international goal since returning from a cancer diagnosis as Wales kept their chances of reaching Euro 2024 with a 2-win away to Latvia on Monday. Bournemouth winger Brooks was diagnosed with stage 2 Hodgkin lymphoma in October 2021. He returned to playing at club level in March and helped secure a vital 3 points for manager Rob Page in stoppage time in Riga. Page's future was in doubt after a run of 1 win in 13 games. Aaron Ramsey's 100th career goal from the penalty spot midway through the first half put the visitors in front. The task of succeeding Irish talisman Johnny Sexton has been beyond some, but in Jack Crowley, Ireland may have at last found their man. Joey Carberry and Billy Burns have in recent years been touted as potential successors without managing to dialogue the 38-year-old from the number 10 jersey. With 23-year-old Crowley, things could be different. Even Ireland great Ronan O'Gara, who is not renowned for doing out compliments, has long tipped him to shine. Jesus, what a hope for Irish rugby, O'Gara told Irish website 42IE 3 years ago after watching Crowley score an astonishing individual try against Scotland under-20. Crowley has yet to produce such a moment at senior level, but his glorious didn't kick that set up Ireland's 12th try in the dying moments of their 82-8 mauling of Romania in their World Cup opener was an indication of his vision. Let's go for another break before we continue.
Spring into savings at Vurman Brock. Get 1.5 kg Real Good Mixed Chicken for $64.99. 5 kg Champion Super Maize for $54.99. 1 liter First Choice UHT milk for $19.99. 1 liter Nam milk or Maire or Oshikandela for $26.99. Plus 2 kg Nga hand washing powder for $38.99. Visit VurmanBrock.com to see our full range of spring specials at WB. We care.
Bruno Fernandes ran the show for Portugal as they romped to a record 9-0 win over Luxembourg on Monday without suspended talisman and all-time top goal scorer Cristiano Ronaldo. Roberto Martinez's side have now won all 6 of their qualifying games without conceding a single goal and scoring 24 themselves, with the country's largest ever victory. Portugal lead the Group G standings 5 points clear of Slovakia in the second place, whom they beat in Bratislava on Friday. Luxembourg are third, 3 points behind Slovakia. Manchester United playmaker Bruno Fernandes, who scored Portugal's winner against Slovakia late on 3 goals as the Seleção filed their boots and scored one himself. Well, this brings us to the end of today's show. Catch the Sport Wrap again